I was thinking about something, and I think this is where my whole America thought finally landed. One of the most beautiful things about this country is that if you don't like where you live, you can move. Now, I know not everybody can do that easily. People have jobs, kids, custody situations, parents, grandparents, farms, businesses, pensions, money problems, roots. So I'm not saying it's simple. But as an idea, America gives you something incredible. You can live in a different place under different rules. You can say, this state doesn't fit me, this town doesn't fit me, these policies don't fit me, this culture doesn't fit me. And if you go find a place that fits you better, that is freedom. That is part of the genius of America. Because America was never supposed to be one giant school district. And I say that as a former principal. Everything does not have to be the same. Every state does not have to be the same. Every town, every school, every neighborhood, every family, every business, every county, every community does not need to live under one giant national script. Different places are supposed to be different. That's not a flaw, that's the design. Different people, different communities, different priorities, different rules, same country. But then I kept thinking, what if everybody actually did that? What if everybody moved only to places where people agreed with them? What if conservatives all moved to conservative states? Liberals all moved to liberal states. People who want low taxes moved one way. People who want more services moved another way. People who want stricter rules moved here. Fewer rules moved there. School choice over here. Stronger public systems over here. People who want cities one way. People who want small towns the other. At first, that all sounds kind of peaceful. It really does. Because people are tired. They're tired of fighting, tired of being lectured, tired of feeling like every election is life or death, tired of national politics showing up in local places where people are just trying to raise kids, run schools, coach baseball, go to work, start businesses, pay bills, and just get through the week. So I understand the fantasy. Let me move somewhere normal. But the problem is, everybody thinks their normal is normal. And if we all move only toward people who agree with us, eventually we don't become more peaceful. We become separate. And peace is not the same thing as separation. Sometimes separation only feels peaceful because nobody is challenging you anymore. But that is not always healthy. Sometimes that is just isolation. And I think that is the danger for America. Because yes, we have the right to move. We have the right to live where we want, the right to find a place that fits our values. But at some point, rights become duties. That is the part nobody wants to talk about. We love rights, and we should. Rights matter. But if you want to keep a country where rights exist, then eventually you also have duties. You have a duty to tolerate people who are wrong. You have a duty to live near people who you don't fully agree with. You have a duty to share public space. You have a duty to lose sometimes. You have a duty to accept some rules you do not personally choose. You have a duty to give some power to the town, some to the county, some to the state, and yes, some power to the federal government. But some power you never give away at all. That balance is the country. That tension is the country. And if everybody says, no, I only want to live with people who agree with me, then eventually we don't have a country anymore. We have 50 political tribes with a shared currency. Maybe a military, maybe a flag, but not really a country. That's a slow breakup. And the weird thing is, the thing we complain about might actually be the thing holding us together. Living next to people who disagree with us, following some rules we don't like, letting different levels of government have different powers, accepting that our town doesn't get everything at once, accepting that our state doesn't get everything at once, and accepting that we don't personally get everything we want. That's not just a problem inside the system. That is the system. America requires friction, not hatred, not constant screaming, not this fake internet war where everybody turns into a cartoon villain, but real friction. The kind of friction where you think your neighbor is wrong, but he still helps shovel your driveway. The kind where the woman down the street votes differently than you, but she brings food when somebody dies. The kind where another family sees the world differently, but your kid and their kid are on the same baseball team. The kind where you argue at the board meeting, then stand next to each other at the concession stand. That's America. Not agreement, contact. The country does not survive because we all think the same. The country survives because we keep choosing to share it. And that means we need the other side. We absolutely need the other side. And that sounds weird to say. Everybody has been trained to think the other side is the problem. But the other side is not only the problem, they're also the guardrail. If one side had total control forever, it would become insane. Like, I don't care which side. Pick your side. Give it total power. No opposition, no challenge, no friction. No one saying no. No one forcing it to explain itself. No one slowing it down. And it will become exactly what power turns people into, and nobody can stop them. Every side thinks it wouldn't. Every side thinks, no, if we had total power, we would finally fix everything. No, you wouldn't. You'd become dangerous because unchecked power always starts calling itself wisdom. That's why we need the other side. Not because the other side is always right. They're not. But neither are we. We need the other side because they stop us from turning our beliefs into a religion and our politics into a weapon. They force limits. They force debates. They force humility. They force us to remember, maybe my answer is right for my town, but not for every town. Maybe my policy is right for my state, but not for every state. Maybe my family needs one thing, but another family needs something else. Maybe my vision of the future is not the only possible future. That is the civic lesson. That is the civil rights lesson. Because once you start talking about rights and duties, the next question is, which rights stay closest to the person? And that matters. The rights closest to the individual have to be the strongest. Your speech, your conscience, your religion, your property, your privacy, your right to raise your family, your right to defend yourself, your right to due process, right to be treated equally under the law. Those things do not belong to the town. They do not belong to the school board. They do not belong to the county, the state, or the federal government. They belong to the person. The government is supposed to protect those rights, not hand them out, not loan them to you, not grant them when it approves of you. Protect them. And then, as you move further away from the individual, the power should become more shared. The family handles family things. The neighborhood handles neighborhood things. The town handles town things. The school board handles school things. The state handles things at the state level. And yes, the federal government handles things that actually have to be national. Defense, borders, currency, interstate commerce, constitutional rights, civil rights, the things that make sure we are still one country. That is the balance. The federal government should protect the floor. It should not design the whole house. Because if the federal government does nothing, then local majorities can abuse people. That's real. A town cannot vote away your humanity. A state cannot decide that certain citizens do not count. A local majority cannot take away basic rights just because it has the votes. That is why civil rights matter. That is why national protection matters. That is why the Constitution matters. But if the federal government tries to solve every argument, define every value, settle every school issue, control every business, standardize every community, and nationalize every local disagreement, then it stops protecting freedom and starts replacing it. That is where America breaks. Because rights are supposed to start with the person. Power is supposed to move outward only when it has to. Not because Washington wants it, not because a state wants it, not because a district wants it. Because the problem actually belongs at that level. The closer something is to your actual life, the closer the decision should be to you. And the more basic the right is to being human, the less anyone should be allowed to touch it. That is how you get freedom without chaos. That is how you get local control without oppression. That is how you get national unity without national sameness. And that is America when it works. But it only works if we accept both parts, the right to be different and the duty to remain together. Rights without duties eventually destroy the thing that give you the rights, and duties without rights become tyranny. America needs both. You have the right to speak, but you have the duty to let someone else speak. You have the right to vote, but you have the duty to accept that you might lose. You have the right to move somewhere that fits you, but you have the duty not to turn the people you left into enemies. You have the right to fight for your kids' future, but you have the duty to admit you do not fully know what that future will require. And that connects to something else I've been thinking about. Every generation thinks it knows what's best for the next generation. Maybe that's part of the problem. Because at some point, we stop living in the country we actually have, and we start trying to control a future we're not even going to be here to live in. We do it in schools, we do it in politics, we do it in culture, we do it everywhere. We say we're doing this for the future, but sometimes the future becomes an excuse to control the present. And maybe America works best when people stop trying to design the perfect future for everyone and start building something good right in front of them. A good family, a good town, a good school, a good business, a good neighborhood, a great state to live in. And then leave the next generation enough freedom to build their own version. That's not giving up on the future. That's trusting it. That is the America I'm thankful for. Not perfect, not finished, not one giant answer, but a country big enough for people who do not want the same life. That is the miracle. Not agreement, room. Room to build, room to move, room to disagree, room to be wrong, room to be left alone, room to change your mind, room for the next generation to decide what their time actually requires. So yes, you can move. Yes, states should be different. Yes, local control matters. Yes, people should have room to build lives that match their values. But if we all sort ourselves so completely that we no longer know, trust, need, or even recognize the other side, then we lose the country. Because America is not just land, it's not just law, it's not just government or borders. It's an agreement, a hard agreement, an annoying agreement, an agreement that says, I don't want to live exactly like you. I don't see the world exactly like you. I don't want your rules for every part of my life, but I still want this country with you in it. That's the sentence. That's America. I still want this country with you in it. And if we lose that, we lose the whole thing. So maybe the duty now is not to pretend we agree. We don't. The duty is not fake unity. The duty is not being quiet. The duty is not surrendering your beliefs. The duty is not acting like every idea is equally good. The duty is to fight for what you believe, without forgetting that the other side is part of why the country still works. They slow you down, they challenge you, they expose your blind spots, they protect themselves from you. And whether you like it or not, that protects the country from everybody, including you, including me. That is the beautiful part. We need each other, not because we agree, because we don't. We need each other because without the other side, America stops being a republic and starts being somebody's project. And I don't want America to be one side's project. I want America to stay America. Different, difficult, local, free, frustrating, still together, still the country worth celebrating. That's the country worth protecting. And maybe that's the real message for America's 250th birthday. Not that we finally became one people who all think the same, but that after 250 years, we are still trying to prove something much harder. That people who do not agree can still share a country. And if we can do that, we still have a chance. Happy 250th, America.